Well, first of all, quick intro for those of you who I'm seeing for the first time. My name's Evan. As Logan had mentioned, run a marketing agency, Celebrity Maid, which is specifically focused on people like yourself who are running cleaning companies. And the main acquisition that we use for our clients is paid advertising. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, specifically with Facebook and Instagram. And I kind of want to make this as interactive as possible because it's always, interesting to see which, parts of the journey you guys are on when it comes to marketing your own business. So either raise your hands or put it in the chat if you're currently running Facebook ads for your company, just to get some ideas. Okay, we got Anna said yes. Okay, we got a lot of yeses. Let's see. I want to try and find someone who we're not working with. Seeing a couple new faces. Let's see. We got Jose, Joshua, Mike. If any of you who I just called their names, or any of you who I'm not working with at the moment who are running ads, either feel free to drop in the chat what your experience has been, or Logan, if it's cool, they could just unmute themselves, and I'd love to just get a quick chat with them.
Who's got some Facebook experience that they're not having a good time with?
Yes. It's fun if you have a good time with, but it'll be more fun if you don't have a good time with. All right, we got Tyler. Tyler raised his hands. Can we unmute Tyler?
I'm here.
There he is. How's it going, Tyler?
It's going great. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure. What's been your experience?
So the Facebook, so we just started our cleaning business in July. So we're fresh, month 3. And that was also our introduction to Facebook ads we did Decade in a Day and and taking all of our info from the masterclass. So everything that we've learned from Logan and Katie, we've just implemented as closely as possible and just adapted it to our community here in our region. So it's working. Like running these equations, we can see what we're spending and seeing how much money we're receiving on an upfront revenue. But like how it all works, a strategy, a process, when to change copy, when to change creative, change locations, like all that stuff. I have no idea. Well, I'm just using the same cute dog picture and Logan's creative and everything. So I'm competent enough to copy and paste and to know that it's working. But like how to manipulate and to go in there and have any sense of I know what I'm doing is not that's absent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fair enough. We'll definitely be able to show some insight on that. I want to call on also at least one or maybe two other people just to get some different perspectives. Let's see. I see Michael. You've had your hand up. What's up, Michael? I don't think we can hear Michael right now.
No.
How about now?
Oh, there we go.
All right,
yes,
cool.
sir.
All right, sweet. Relatively same background as Tyler. Did Decade in a Day with Logan, got some insight from him on how to initially start the Facebook ad. Honestly, it's pretty much the same exact answer. Just I had one that worked, generated some leads, and then I duplicated the ad, and then pretty much all the ads didn't get any traction at all. And I know that Facebook is really sensitive. I mean, so is Google, but I just didn't know what lever to pull to really make it work. And it seemed like I had everything set up correctly. So yeah, now I'm just running Google LSA, which is challenging because I'm running at like $50 a lead and it's very inconsistent. So that's just my challenge right now.
Gotcha. Appreciate you sharing that.
Yep.
Cool. And then let's get we'll get one more and then we'll dive right into this. Pat, I see your name. You wanna unmute yourself and share your experience?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So, pretty much the past 30 days, I had about, let's say, $770 in ad spend and about 43 leads, but only 7 of them, actually booked up or scheduled an appointment for a discovery call. And then the rest of them, they just, I can't even get them to respond on via text, even though I texted them like 5 minutes within them submitting a lead form, or at least the next morning of at 9 a.m. So I don't really know what's going on. It's hard for me to actually get them on the line to even talk.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, I'll tell you what I did today is I did put together a quick little presentation to kind of outline the fundamentals of what makes, an ad convert well. What are some of the best practices? Logan, I don't know how much time we have. If it's cool, we could go through that quickly and then, build out Adahes once we go over those fundamentals, or we could just go right into building out the ad and kind of explain as I go. I don't know if there's a preference.
Let's reward people for staying on and staying engaged, and let's give that to them at the end to get them to continue to stay on and not just like take the information and leave. So let's build out Ease funnel, and then for everyone who makes it to the end, Evan will be giving away basically a little cheat sheet on actually how to create Facebook ads. That sound cool?
Absolutely. Let's do that. Cool. Well, I'll share my screen and then let's dive right into this. So let me go. So Adahi shared with me her folder with some content. And I'll start off this lesson by really explaining that, having engaging video content is a big push that we do with our service. And if you think about anything that you see that's trending on, let's say like Instagram Reels or TikTok these days, doesn't even have to be cleaning related, but that type of content, if you guys can sort of mimic that into your own content procedures, you'll actually see that that's what's probably going to convert best. And the whole thing with this advertising is you want to try and make it as congruent to these platforms as possible. So, like I said, something that you might see go viral on like Instagram, for example, if you can make your video kind of mimic that, that's what's going to get the most engagement, the most conversions, and all that fun stuff. So Adahi sent me some of these videos, and we'll just play through them really quick together so you can kind of see what she has going on. But she actually did a really good job at having the right idea.
Dude,
So this is just like a time
crush.
lapse kind of first person video. Has some like lo-fi music in the backgrounds. So we got one clip over there. Let's move on to a few of the others. Let's try and find out which. Okay, so this one's like a ceiling fan cleaning. Okay, cool. Let's do this one. You gave us a nice little dance, like it. Nice.
Do you like the branding when it comes to Facebook ads, or do you prefer to take that out, Evan?
Yeah, so great question. The truth is your logo, no one really cares. Your logo is going to appear on the ads like when you're sponsoring it through your page anyway. In my opinion, this is kind of real estate that's just could be taken for something that's more valuable. That being said,
Like
Adahi's
what, Evan?
situation.
Like if you were to give it something else, like would you make an offer there? Would you what would you do there instead of the logo?
Oh, I'm going to show you. Don't worry.
Oh, amazing. Cool.
We're going to go over that.
Great.
But yes, if you want to put your logo like in the bottom left corner, for example, for like a couple seconds, I think that's fine. I wouldn't have it too large, it's a common mistake a lot of people do, but it's not the end of the world. Let's go through one more of these videos.
Dude.
Yeah, these are
videos are gonna
cool.
crush. Yeah, they're gonna be so good.
Nice. So based on all 4 of these videos, I think let me just go through this one again. Okay, so I would say pretty much this one or the last 2. If you notice, they're filmed vertically, so we're probably going to want to prioritize that. And this is a good note for you guys. If you're filming your videos horizontally, unless you plan on uploading them to like YouTube or like having them, hosted on like a video platform for your website or something like that, you should really prioritize vertical filming because it's going to be more friendly to the Instagram and Facebook platform, and it's going to take up more real estate too, which is really what we want. So I'm going to just download both of these and we're going to work with them. So what she already did was she kind of put together a time lapse where she filmed herself cleaning. She sped up the time. She put some music behind it. She did a lot of the heavy lifting for us already, which is kind of nice. But if you guys are kind of wondering how to do that, it's pretty simple. You could either get one of your friends or coworkers, whatever, or if you're going to be filming your cleaners doing this, just film them doing a job. It could be a regular 30-second to a minute clip. And then once it's done, you literally just double up the speed or triple up the speed. You can mute the cleaning so you don't hear like any of the commotion. Put a nice background track in the back, and then you have Adahi's finished product right there. But we're gonna make it one step further to make a really engaging ad. So let's start fresh. And this platform, by the way, that I'm using, guys, this is called wave.video. So if you guys are not the most creatively sound people and you don't feel like downloading, Adobe Premiere or DaVinci or one of these really large video editing softwares that's going to take up a ton of space on your hard drive, this is an awesome option if you're looking for a DIY solution. You can outsource this to virtual assistants too, but I think for most people, this is going to be a great cost-effective option to make your own creative videos. So we just selected a 9:16 video, which gives us the vertical format, right? And what we're going to do is just upload those videos that I just downloaded. So I'm going to drag these into here. Let's get this one in there too. Okay, cool. And then let's just work with one of these for now. Okay. So again, this was her video, right? So before I do anything with this, drop in the chat, what do you think we can do to maybe make this ad a little bit more interesting, relevant to the audience, enticing to a potential homeowner who wants their house cleaned? Is there anything that you guys can think about? And I'm gonna look at the chat. Add text or voiceover. Nice. Trending music. Slowing down, showing the transformation. Okay. Text, caption. Cool. Yeah, so this is awesome, guys. Exactly. One of the first things, text and a voiceover is certainly something that I'd recommend. But there's even one more thing, and this is something that I've never seen people do in their ads, and it's one of the easiest things you guys can do. All right, so how when you guys look at stories, you see that location tag when people are out eating dinner or like traveling to a new city, they'll look up the location and then post that. You guys can do the same thing on your advertisements, and it's actually really simple. All you got to do is grab your phone, open up Facebook or Instagram or whatever, go to your story section, right? And then I'm going to do this with you guys. So I'm on Instagram right here. And then see how when you click the location tab, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but right there at the top in the middle, you guys get that location tag. You can simply tap on that and then enter in whatever city you want. So if you guys want to go after a very affluent city, or there's like a particular neighborhood that you guys want to get clients in, you could just post that location tag at the top of your video. And I'm going to show you how. But first, let me ask you, Adahi, is there any specific cities or like affluent neighborhoods that you want to market to?
Yes, but I want to say real quick, I don't think we're still seeing your editing screen for the wave dot video. We're not seeing your Facebook stuff you're pulling up.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Because I put my phone up to the camera. I'm doing it on my cell phone right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I don't think we can see that. But yeah, I'm mostly targeting like the Florence area, like our West Florence. So like have a zip code in mind
Okay.
for yeah.
So I'm gonna type in Florence, South Carolina. There we go. And then I'll show you guys. So I just typed in Florence, South Carolina in the location tag, and I was able to pull it up. Right there it is.
I
So
don't think
now
we can't
It's
see
it's,
what
it's
you're
actually on his. It's not on his like the screen share. It's actually on his little Zoom box.
yeah, sorry. So if you look at my actual out of here, if you look at like where I'm talking through right now, I don't know if you have like the speaker view on for the Zoom settings. I'm putting it up to the camera. I don't
I'm
think.
sorry. Yeah, I had it on speaker view. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so all I'm gonna do, guys, is or what you guys can do too is you're gonna screenshot that, right? And then I'm gonna send it to myself. Let me share my screen again. So this is all done on your cell phone, what I'm going over right now. So we're just going to screenshot that location tag and then let me send it to myself. Okay. Cool. So type in Florence location tag. And then there's this other cool tool, remove.bg, background remover. So that same thing we just screenshotted. I'm going to pull that up in my files. Just going to drag that into here. And then it's going to give us a transparent location. So I'm going to download that. We can actually crop this because we don't need this stuff in the background. There we go. Cool. Go back to my video editor. And then again, if you guys are using Wave, really cool. You could just click on overlays. We're going to come to media uploads, and then we're going to get that same thing that we just downloaded right here. Okay. Now we're going to scroll down and then boom. So this alone, the first couple seconds of the video, now when someone's in the area, they're going to instantly know that, okay, this is like this person's local, right? Because we always have to give these people the benefit of the doubt that they've never heard of us before. They're not sure if, you're a local company or a national company, like, right? So we're just trying to build familiarity and get, more importantly, get these people to convert, watch the video and actually convert. So you can put your location tag for, let's say, like the first couple seconds of the video. And then if you want to make it like disappear, whatever. Now, some other things that people had mentioned, I'm going to open up the chat again. People were saying like putting some text or some narration. So great. Love that you guys are thinking like that. And that's exactly what we're going to do as well. So to make this a little more enticing, let's add some text to the video. And what I would recommend is also trying to keep like the text, again, similar to what you might see on a social media profile, right? So this like bubble type of text, this is an option for, I think, like most Instagram or Facebook stories, right? So we could really type whatever we want here. So I don't know, it could be something very simple like, still procrastinating on your dirty home, right? Still arguing with your spouse of whose turn it is to clean, like a quick little catchphrase. So let's do that. Do you use any slogans out of here?
Yeah, just like clean spaces make happy faces, just my little business tagline.
Okay. Nice. So that can be an option. If you want to put your slogan. Another thing you guys can do is if you can almost do from like a client's perspective where you type in something that they might have said, or if you go to like one of your Google reviews that a client left and you literally just type out word for word what they said, like, you know, hey, I'm so happy I hired, you know, Adahe's Cleaning, let's say. Let's just pretend that was one of your Google reviews, right? Um, center this, lower it a little bit, right? So if we play the video, probably want it to appear a little bit sooner than that. Okay. So this looks like it's like coming from a client, right? If it was a quote that you did. But let's just do we don't have to lie. Let's just do I don't know. We'll do a question still. Something that Logan might have taught you guys is in your marketing, try and keep it at a third grade level. It can be very tempting to add like sentences and paragraphs about like all this stuff, but we just want to keep it very basic. So this is a little question that we're going to do. Now, what we can do is actually literally just copy and paste this. And what some of you guys had mentioned is adding some narration. So if you do this like within the TikTok platform, for example, you can get that like some of these different tones, these different voices to say what you type out, and you could save that as an audio, or you could go to voicemaker.in, sign in to your email, and it's free to do this. And all you have to do is once you guys sign in, just type in whatever you want it to say, right? You could pick different types of voices, which is really cool. These are scary accurate, some of them. And you can even like change the pitch or emphasize certain words by like highlighting a certain word and then changing the voice effect to like if you want it to be more happy, more friendly, more emphasized, right? So let's just see what this sounds like.
Still procrastinating on cleaning your home?
Right. So I think that works. Let's download this.
Hey, Evan, before we I'm sorry, I'm being a little nitpicky. Is there a way I could like just like to like dusty blinds, let me save you time? Could I say that?
Absolutely. So was it dusty blinds?
Let me save you time. Question mark, let me save you time. Yeah.
Something like this.
Maybe dusty blinds question mark, let me save you time exclamation like
Oh,
exclamation.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got you now. Sweet.
Dusty blinds? Let me save you time.
Okay, it sounds that one sounds a little bit slow. Let's see if we could speed that up a tiny bit. Let's do like 30%. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, play around until you get a good product.
Dusty blinds. Let me save you time.
Okay. A little bit better.
That's a really cool software there. Like that's really neat.
Yeah. I mean, and if you guys are comfortable, you can, you know, do this narration yourself too. This is just an option if you don't have that. All right. So let's name this really quick. Go back to Wave. We're going to add that audio. Upload this here. Zoom bar is always in the way. Okay, there it is. All right, let's see.
Save you time.
Okay, cool. It's coming along. Now I'm actually going to remove that transition. I want it to look like pretty raw, I guess you could say. So that's one one audio thing that we just did with some text. Now, this is a longer video. It's over 20 seconds. So if you wanted to put another one at the end, for example, what we could do is we could copy this. Let's add another one. And then this should probably be some type of call to action. So this could be, like request a quote in 20 seconds, for example, right? Or if you, or it could be if you're running a specific type of offer, which we'll talk about in a little bit, you could put something like that. So I don't know if you're doing the free cleaning offer, but this would be a great opportunity to put that in here. So click below to claim your free cleaning voucher, something like that, right? Are you doing that, by the way, Adahi, that offer?
Yes, I plan on. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it yet. Like I just got my funnel up and running, but yeah, like let's do it. It'll force me to research.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. And I think that will apply to a lot of you guys in this group, because I know that's Logan's moneymaker right there. So click below to claim your free cleaning voucher. And then we're literally just going to do the same thing. Let's see if she sounds enthusiastic.
Click below to claim your free cleaning voucher.
It speeds a little bit.
Evan, do you find that there is a significant difference between like the voices that read them to you versus like an actual person? Like I know personally, whenever I'm scrolling through videos, like as soon as I hear that robotic voice, I just immediately mute the video.
Yeah, so I haven't tested this too extensively. So I can definitely see that point. In a sense, though, I kind of like that it almost sounds like it's clearly from one of these platforms, like from the TikTok or whatever, because again, we're trying to stay congruent with these platforms. And we wanted to make it not look like an ad so much, but more like an engaging piece of content that's just from a business, right? So it's interesting. You could test like hiring a voice actor versus using one of these versus like maybe using yourself. But yeah, I don't exactly have too much data on that.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
For sure. Awesome. So this will be the last audio thing that we're going to throw in. So let's get that. Put that in there. All right, play this again. I'm actually going to bump up the audio just a little bit so it's do the same thing over here. All right, so let's play it from the top. Let's see what we got so far. I don't know about you, it felt like there was kind of a long lag between this part to like the next text. So what I'm actually going to do is chop this up a little bit. Let's try this again.
Save you time.
Oh, okay, so this is interesting. So since you already put audio on it, it kind of like, since we spliced out a bunch of the clips, it kind of messed up. So see how like when we go from here to there's like incongruency with the music. What we can do instead, though, and again, this is what's great about if you guys have a Wave Video subscription, is they have a really awesome library of stock music. So like if we go here, let's just type in like lo-fi, for example, and we could play through some tracks that you might like. Let's see.
It's hard to hear on my end, but I trust your judgment, whatever works.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, this was kind of similar to what you had.
That was just like a Facebook trending song, so I'm not attached to it at all.
Yeah, I gotcha. No, I think this will be fine. So let me
So to claim your free cleaning voucher.
awesome. So I'm just gonna cut that one up just before the beat drop. And then we have our winner. So that is it, guys. In terms of like making a, honestly, her video was decent to start with, but this is how you can make like a video that's most likely going to convert, because we got the location tag, we got the music in the background, we got this text, popping up, right? So let me just name this, call this Dusty Blinds video. And then it's really easy to publish this. We'll do maximum quality 1080p, hit render. All right. And now that's going to, while we start to get that created, let's go into your ads manager and start building out the campaign while we wait for it to load.
Okay,
So
I have a couple video editing questions.
yeah,
Like,
please.
so you said the vertical. I know that like whenever I'm uploading them so that I can just like post them, I usually try to go with like the best resolution. Do you also recommend recording in like 4K? And I just don't know how easily that translates for like other phones.
So I know with the iPhone and maybe some other smartphones, if you do record in 4K, or I think it might be like the smart HDR setting, you got to be careful, because sometimes when you upload that video to certain video editing sites, the picture profile, which is basically just like the color of the video, will be a little bit wonky. So it might look great on your phone, but then on this, it will look like green and just like really bad. But yeah, I would say if you're just shooting at 4K, that should be fine. I would just turn off the HDR, because I don't think Wave Video supports that at the moment.
Okay. And then my other question is like I guess sometimes I get like once it's posted to social media, does it matter if the other like if I recorded with an iPhone and the other person has an Android? I know sometimes they don't communicate very well either and they're like really blurry. What do you have like what input do you have for that?
Are you talking about combining multiple video clips like in one video, and some of the clips are on an iPhone and the others are Android? Is that what you mean?
No, it's a no. So if I record my video on an iPhone and then I post it to Facebook, does an Android user see it the same way I see it, or is it blurry?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Once it's posted, yeah, you know what? I'm not too sure about that actually. That might be something you would just have to test. I think once it's published on the social media platform, it looks pretty similar for like iOS and Android devices. But I know that sometimes on like stories, for example, you're right, a video could be really choppy for like the iPhone, but for them it looks fine. But yeah, once you publish a video, if you're going to use a software like this, the finished product should be the same for everybody.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Those are only two questions I had.
Yeah, you're welcome. So let me download that. Let me pop in the chats just to see if anybody has asking any questions, because I know Matthew McConaughey's voice. Sweet. Okay, cool. So let's move on. Let's go into the ads manager and start putting this stuff together. By the way, so if this is your first time coming into the ads manager and you're wondering what kind of nonsense this is I have on my screen, so this is through the Facebook Business Manager. And you'll need to create your own business account to set this up, versus like boosting a post, which is what a lot of people do when they're starting off. This is how you kind of create everything from the real way, from scratch. So we're going to click this create button, and then there's different campaign objectives. And honestly, guys, I've been doing this for a while, tested a lot of different types of objectives, and 99% of the time really leads is what you guys are going to be going after. the only time I would say one of these other ones might be worth doing is like engagement. If you weren't trying to optimize for leads, you just wanted to get a bunch of like comments on a post or likes. But most of the time it's going to be leads. So we're going to select that, hit continue. All right. And then these are basically like the 3 tiers of a campaign, you can call it. So the first step is the campaign level. So this is where you're basically just telling Facebook what you want to optimize for. The ad set level, this is where the targeting takes place. And then the ad level, this is where you actually, build the ad. So what people will see on their screen. So let's start with the first one at the campaign level. We have leads selected already, right? So this is going to be on auction by default. We have the leads. If we scroll down a little bit, you're going to see this A/B test or advantage campaign budget. That's kind of advanced stuff. You guys don't have to worry about that. And in fact, we actually rarely touch this ourselves and do just fine generating leads. So you could leave that alone. We're going to skip to new leads ad set. And then this is where things get a little more interesting, because now what we're deciding is where do we want to actually send our traffic to? So if you guys have your own landing page or website that you're sending traffic to, it's just going to be the website option, right? If you guys, let's say, didn't want to send traffic to a funnel, but you wanted to do instant forms, Facebook has their own native forms built into the platform. And this is a good option if, like I said, you don't have a landing page or you're not sure if it's optimized for conversions. This is definitely a sure way to get leads pretty consistently. But the trade-off is that you are sacrificing a little bit of quality, because that hurdle for people to, not have to go to a website, just click on a form and type in their information, is a lot lower. And same thing with Messenger. You guys might be familiar with like chat bots or sending traffic to Facebook Messenger. This is exactly what that means. Again, you don't need a funnel or a website. Now, this will probably get you the cheapest leads, the most amount of leads every day, but you'll get a lot of false positives just based on my experience, because people will accidentally hit the send message button, when they see your ad, and then, half of your leads might respond to the first message and then stop. So I don't really recommend this for most scenarios. And then, of course, you have some other options. Facebook sometimes changes these every few months. So what I'm sharing with you right now might even be a little bit different 6 months from now. But for the most part, these are pretty self-explanatory. This would be like a combination of the instant forms plus the messenger bot. If you want to send people just to the Instagram DMs, you could do that. Facebook also has call only ads, kind of like LSA. Haven't tested these too much, but they are interesting if you guys give it a shot. And then app, this won't apply to any of you. So we're going to do website because Adahi has her own funnel, and you guys are in this awesome program by Logan. You've seen his funnel. I'm sure you guys have very similar landing pages or websites, that will convert. So you could definitely use that. All right. And then performance goal. So you'll want this on maximize number of conversions. Now, this lesson would be way too long if I got really in depth about the pixel and setting up conversion events. But basically, a pixel is going to be a piece of code that you're going to install onto your website. You want to make sure you have a specific conversion event for your thank you page, which is basically the last page of your funnel, so that anytime a lead visits that page, Facebook recognizes it as a conversion, and they can actually optimize your ads and try and find more people that are likely to convert with your ad. Some of you might be thinking I just spoke Chinese right now. Don't worry. You don't have to worry about that right now. But it is something to keep in mind if you really want to try and like squeeze the juice and get the best ROI from your campaign. But yeah, to set up your pixel, you would just click on this button. We'll set this up for her really quick. So home sweet home pixel.
I'm glad you said really quick, because this usually doesn't take me. This usually takes me a long time. This is not usually very quick for me. So that's one of the biggest reasons I brought evidence for this piece. Like, pay attention. If you guys are sleeping, wake up. This is the time to be paying attention right now. This is very important.
Okay, cool. So you do want me to go deep on this?
Yes. Like, Let's make
Okay.
this so like we can press go and Audie has a credit card hooked up. Like, let's spend some money. Let's go.
All right, fantastic. So
Let's spend all of Audie's money right now on this call.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah, set your budget to 100 grand a day and let's roll.
Hey, if you can
All
put
right.
100
Let me
grand
make
in,
the
you
100
can get
grand
200 out. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. You got to
So
invest it first.
After you guys select create a pixel and you hit continue, you're going to see these options. You can create a metapixel and conversions API or metapixel only. So Facebook's really pushing for conversions API. This is like the most recent and most advanced and probably accurate way of how they recognize what a conversion is. You used to be able to just like paste a code on each page of your site and say like, hey, this is a lead, this is a submit form, and you can still do that, but this is just like one extra step, especially since iOS had that update a couple of years ago, where with like ad cookies and all that stuff. So we're going to select metapixel and conversions API, hit next. All right, and then very important, make sure you guys hit install code manually, because now it's going to allow us to actually create this from scratch. So we're going to select professional services. And if you guys think about your funnel, everything from like when a person clicks on the ad to when they visit the landing page to when they submit their contact details, basically all the steps that would be involved is what we're going to check here. So the first one would be view content. This is just for all visitors who land on our page, right? Now, another one is going to be contact. So these would be basically anyone who sends you a message or calls your business, just some type of inbound message. A lead, pretty self-explanatory. Someone who makes it to your thank you page, right? Schedule, especially if you guys have your own go high level calendars on your funnel, or if you're using like ZenMaid or something like that. Obviously leads who schedule is something that we'll want to check out for. And that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, I think I got everything. So let's hit continue. And we'll keep this
So if I
rolling.
was running an ad to hire cleaners, would submit application be like a good little thing to check off?
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't hurt. Although, yeah, I don't know how much more applicants you would get from that, because I think if you're running like a hiring ad, it's pretty broad to begin with. It's
Okay.
it's an interesting thing. I think it's definitely worth a shot. I haven't really seen a use for it. Usually with hiring ads, you can keep it like very basic and don't even have to worry about these conversion events.
Gotcha.
Cool. Okay, and then so what I was just doing right here, so you can basically check all these boxes as far as info that we would want the server to pick up from people. I don't really see why there's a need not to click all of them. Your finger might get tired at the end of this, but that's the only bad part about it. Okay. Do one more. Okay, awesome. Hit continue. All right, and this just kind of reiterates what we just selected. You're going to hit continue. All right, and then you're going to get to this last step, the C instructions. Click on this, open implementation guide. All right, and then we're going to hit, or sorry, before we hit get started, we're going to select generate access token. And I'll explain to you guys why in a second. So let me just open up something really quick. I'm going to post all of this on a sheet. For any of you guys who use high level, this will be really neat. This code that I'm grabbing, because you can put them in your automations. High level has a really good like built-in feature for this. All right, let's see. Come back here. Okay. And then once you have that, you could just hit finish. All right. And then we're going to click settings. So this is the pixel that we set up earlier. So we're going to copy this pixel ID, and then get that too. Let's paste that in there. And then the last thing that we'll need is the actual pixel code itself, which we didn't get yet. So we can come to, they always change the layout. So let's hit this. Okay, here we go. So you see what I did? I clicked on overview right here where it says continue pixel setup. And then we're going to click this metapixel connect, install code manually. And then this is where we're able to retrieve the code. So we're going to copy that, go back to our documents, paste that in there. Awesome. And then just continue with the rest. Sweet. So now the next step is basically to install this code onto your website or funnel. Now, Adahi, you sent me your page for the funnel that you use, but I don't have, or first of all, what platform is it hosted through?
ClickFunnels, I think.
Okay, gotcha. If you want, since I don't have access to your ClickFunnels, you can open that up on your computer and we could install this together.
Okay. Let me get it put up.
Yeah, so for all you guys who are still paying attention, like this is the part where you're gonna rewind it. You're gonna go like start. You're gonna stop. You're gonna do it, and then you're gonna hit start, and then you're gonna pause it after 2 seconds. So you're gonna keep doing the start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. It takes time. So if you're frustrated because it takes you a lot of time, it's okay. It's your first time doing it. Like Evan's done this lots of times. I have done this lots of times, and I still have to start, stop, start, stop. Like I literally go back and watch my own training sometimes when I'm setting up new people's.
Oh, me too.
Like in a day, like I literally go watch my own trainings. I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot. Like, and I've literally done so many of these, and I've even done way more than I have. So like, just so you guys know, like if you're frustrated, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And Nathan asked a good question. He said, is this to track KPIs? No, it's not to track KPIs. It's just to tell Facebook. We're really just trying to give Facebook, the platform, as much data as possible for them to optimize on our behalf. Right.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. All this technical stuff, like we're already 95% there. This is just to squeeze out that extra 5%, really. Right. You guys are going to get leads regardless, even if you didn't do this. But if you really want to get the maximum ROI, it's a good idea to have these things in place before you hit publish.
And truly, if you set it up once, as long as you don't have to create a new ad account, like it's a one and done setup. So
yeah, that's the good news for you guys. It's you set this up once and then pretty much never have to touch it. Let's see, Bobby Menendez, do you have to do this for every campaign? No. So you only have to do this if you're doing a conversions campaign, meaning you're sending traffic to a website or a funnel. If you want to run your own ads and you just like do not want to do this at all costs, you can do like a messenger ad. You won't have to do this. You could do an instant forms ad. You won't have to do this because Facebook already has like their own, built-in system. Right. So this is only for the website option.
and just as a note to that, for everyone in here who does any of those other options like instant forms and messenger and any other stuff, like don't come complaining when you spend $1,000 and you only get a couple leads or whatever it is. Like this is why we have the training. And yes, it's tedious, but this is how I can give you better help, is if you actually follow the process, you do the upfront work. Because again, it is work, but once it's done, then it's set and forget it, and then we can actually go into doing the fun stuff, which is what Evan was doing earlier, which was doing the videos, right? Like that's like those are the things you'll be doing often. Like this backend stuff is it takes time to set it up, and then it's a set it, forget it, and like basically, if anyone who's watching this right now and watching the training, like do it the right way, set it up right the first time.
Yes.
Because I don't want people complaining that they spent $500 and got 4 leads. Well, it's because you didn't follow it to a T. Like so let me tell you just a quick story about Audie getting the setup. So Audie, if you can get your ClickFunnels set up and then go ahead and share your screen, that way Evan can grab and put the code on there. But while you're doing that, so in 2017, I did the daily call for Gym Launch. Okay. And so the daily call was a call from 12 to 1 Mountain Standard Time every single day that Alex basically coached the gym owners inside Gym Launch, basically how to fix the problems with their marketing. Right. That was like the biggest problem in the fitness business was marketing. And so in November 2017, Alex actually had me come on and take over the daily call from him. And so I did that for 2 years. So for 2 years, I sat behind a Zoom screen just like this, talking to 4,500 gym owners, and they would always ask me the same question. They would always say the same thing with just a different variation of it, of like, my ads aren't working, but like I can't make money, right? My response was always the same. Show me your numbers. Right? How much money did you spend? How many leads did you get scheduled? Actually, how many leads did you get? How many did you schedule? How many showed? How many closed? And what was your upfront revenue? Those are the numbers that I use to be able to coach people. Okay. And so when it comes to you guys asking questions about your marketing, like we need those numbers in order for us to be able to help you. But secondly, like the more variations, the more things that you try to put on it as your own of like you think you're smarter is where I have found in my experience working with 4,500 gym owners, the people who were successful, literally all ran the same funnel. We all ran the same marketing. We all ran the same ad copy. We literally all ran the same videos because Alex spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. He just gave videos to us. So we literally like he did as much as possibly as he could for us. We literally all ran the same things. And you know what? Some people were successful and some people were not. You guys want to know why? Can anyone guess why the same funnel with the same videos, the same ad copy, sometimes in the same market, by the way, you guys are thinking like, oh, it's probably a different market. In the same market, some people were successful and some people were not. Autumn, are you on here? Is Autumn on here? Yeah, I know. That's why I asked her to download the new version of Zoom so that you could control her screen.
Yeah, I did. I did right before we
No, I
hopped on,
think
but
it might be because you're the host, Logan. It's a little it's fine though.
I think she was co-host. I did a Zoom call with her and I tried to grab her remote control and I couldn't do it either. So that's why I asked her to do her.
Okay. Her computer's haunted, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
so-
Okay.
maybe I didn't upgrade to the right thing. Sorry.
Okay. Let me
All right.
finish
That's
this
fine.
point here and then we'll
Yeah.
get on here. So the same ads, the same marketing, the same funnels. Half people were successful, half people were not. Close, Steph. They didn't follow the process. They changed it. They changed shit. They changed the offer. They changed the marketing. They're like, I don't want to do free. I don't want to do this. They did not follow the process. They tried to put their own little their own headlines and they tried to change the thing that was tested. Literally, Alex spent hundreds of thousands of dollars a month to test it, to give it to us, and people changed it because they thought they knew better. So if you want to have predictable results, or at least a higher probability of predictable results, follow it as is. And when you have proved it and it works, you can use that as the baseline, and then you can start to edit and tweak things from there. But the benefit you guys have from using this funnel, using the ad copy, using the scripts, is that it's been tested over the last 7 years. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have went through this. It works. Okay. Keep going, Evan.
Awesome. Cool. So you can click on by the way, guys, so this is through ClickFunnels. Some of you guys might use high level for your landing pages, maybe use like lead pages or Wix or whatever. The process should be fairly similar. You would basically just gonna go into your funnel builder, click on I'm sorry, Ada, can you click back actually?
Yes.
I can help you a little bit on this one too, Evan. I know you're not as familiar with ClickFunnels.
Yeah,
Do
I
you need
think
help?
I think it's settings on the top, right?
Yeah,
Not mistaken.
it is.
Okay. There we go. Okay, you see where it says head tracking code? It looks like you actually already have one in there, which is
That's
interesting.
probably mine. That's probably why, because
Oh, okay.
this is a sheriff. Everyone probably has my
Okay,
pixel on there.
that's fine.
That's
So
what
just
I mean.
just yeah, just click in there, hold Command A or Control A to select it all, and then yeah, and then delete.
It's an old pixel. I don't use this one anymore, so it doesn't affect mine. It's just it's what it is.
We don't need your pixel.
You don't need
logo.
my pixel.
Who do you think we are? We'll take your ad copy, but not your pixel. How about that?
Exactly. You can take everything but the pixel.
All right, I'm gonna post that document. That's just for Adaheat. You can open that up and then just copy and paste that Facebook pixel and yeah, post it in the head tracking code section.
Okie doke.
Boom.
Sweet. And then do you see where it says body tracking code? You mind just deleting that also? Yeah, and then you could leave that blank. That's fine. And then just yeah, save
Scroll.
this.
Yeah, scroll to the bottom, all the way to the bottom.
Yep.
Cool.
Sweet.
This is the tedious stuff, guys. Stay with us there.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we got that. Now let me just do I'm gonna share. I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen in a second. Let's see. Where's the Zoom bar? Okay, cool. All right. So I got a bunch of tabs open, but okay, so that pixel we just installed onto Adaheat's funnel, right? Now, one more thing that we need to do is I mentioned in high level, they have a really cool integration where you could actually import that access token that I had before. And if you have your automation set up where it's like, hey, when a new lead comes in, all you need is your access token and your ID, and it will automatically register as a lead. But I'm going to assume, I know some of you use the high level, but I'm going to assume you guys don't, because I'm going to show you the other way that you could set up basically that lead conversion event. So we're going to come into the events manager. Let me refresh this.
And guys, if this is your first time on Facebook or doing Facebook ads and you get on your business manager, just understand that the reason why it's kind of a pain in the ass because it always changes. Evan's alluded to it a couple times, but Facebook is always changing the way it looks. They're changing buttons. They're always playing with things. So that's why it's difficult.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And then sorry, what was the URL to your funnel again, Adahi?
I will post it in the it's homesweethomeprocleaning.com/. Is it easy? I'm just gonna do this. Sorry.
Yeah, you can post it in the chat. That's fine.
Okay. Let me find out how to go back. I'm sorry. Building this funnel brought me to tears so many times, but I got it.
That's all right.
Okay, let's see.
Here, while she does that though, this is probably the easiest way that you guys can set up conversion events. If you're not using high level, you can create what's called custom conversions. So if we select this, we already installed her pixel on her site, right? So that's good. And then we're basically going to set up a specific conversion event for just leads. So we'll just name this, we'll just name this leads.
Yep.
And then this is where you're telling Facebook, like, hey, anytime someone lands on a URL, that contains, you know, the / thank you or whatever her unique URL is for that thank you page, then we'll know that we can register that as a lead. So in your case, Adahi, sorry, I actually don't need the URL to your homepage of your funnel, but rather the thank you page.
Gotcha. Okay, sorry. Let's see.
Yeah, no problem.
I didn't change the path on this one, I don't think. Let me make sure. Okay, it's still going to it though, so I think it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let me open this up. So this is nice and simple. If you guys can make your own URLs, I recommend that you do just have like a / thank you, because it's easy to remember. So we'll do that. If the URL contains / thank you, that means it's a lead, right? So let's hit create. And then boom, we got that. And you can, like, once you have this created, you can refresh your page a couple times, maybe open it on your cell phone too, just to like give some traffic. Because right now Facebook's saying like, well, slow down, guys. There's no, it's inactive. No one's visited it yet. So it takes a couple minutes for it to like fire properly. But that's totally normal. All right. So we officially set up our pixel. We got the leads conversion event. So now we can go back to our campaign. And
So one thing I want to ask you, because when you put that in there as in the conversion event, you just put in the / thank you. Why didn't you put in the entire URL?
yes, so I could have,
Okay.
but I wasn't sure if those numbers were uniquely generated for me, if they would change for like other users, right? So if I put contains / thank you 4083, but then someone else got thank you 311, then
Okay.
that technically, right?
Yeah.
So as long as it has at least thank you in it, it will register as a lead.
Okay.
Good question though. All right, and to stay organized, I always the way that I would suggest, you guys can name them however you want, but I always start with what the campaign objective is. So we're doing a conversions campaign. If you guys were doing a messenger campaign, you can name this messenger, or if you're doing like a call only, you could name this call only, and then dash whatever the offer we're running usually is. So we're going to be doing the free cleaning voucher, right?
Yes.
So that will be cool. So that will be the name of the campaign. All right, so we did this part already. The website, we set up her pixel. Now we're just going to select a lead because that's what we're optimizing for, is leads. It says we don't have any conversion data. Again, it takes a couple of minutes. Don't worry, it's normal. All right, we're going to scroll down. Now we get to the budget section. Adahi, I don't know if you have a daily budget in mind.
100,000.
I think I'm looking to cap out at 300 for now, so I don't know how long these run for.
So you could set a lifetime budget of 300 where the campaign would automatically stop. I would recommend, if possible, you always stick to daily budget and just kind of keep a mental note of when to stop it, because who knows, this campaign could crush it for you and generate all these leads. And then once it reaches that cap of 300, it turns off and then you lose that momentum, right? With daily budget, you always have the option of pausing it whenever you want.
Okay. Have you found there to be like a magic number where like anything below that, you're just pretty much wasting money, or?
No, well, I mean, I probably wouldn't go below like, $15 a day.
Okay.
It's like,
I'm good.
I always recommend starting higher, and I'll just say my philosophy on this. And then again, like I like to get the results fast, and so like pump it, and then I like to pull back, which is most people don't like to do this, but this is actually got this from Alex. It's like I'll throw a bunch of money out at the beginning to get traction to see what works, and then I'll start to scale back, rather than most people do the other way around. They try to scale up. And again,
That's
from running
smart.
ads for so long, I think the biggest mistake that people make is they try to go so slow and they're sitting there on $15 a day and they don't get a lead. And 15, like it could, like you could be paying $20 a lead, which means that after 2 days you might only have one lead and you're frustrated. So it's like,
yeah,
as long as you know as long as the system you're running is not something that you just made shit up, and it's actually something that is like it's a proven model. I like to go more in the beginning, and then I'll scale down rather than going the way around. That's my philosophy. And just from seeing enough people inside the group, they usually don't spend enough money for it to get traction, and then they give up too quickly, and they wonder. Then they literally just waste the money. So I think the mentality is more just like, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to do it because I believe in it. And the commitment level, ADE, as you know, is the most powerful thing you can do. Just have the commitment behind it. Be like, I'm gonna make this work.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Thanks, Logan. That's really, really smart. Okay. Yeah, let's stick to 20 for now. And then if I need to bump it up later or bump it down, yeah, this is learning. So let's stick with 20 for now.
Cool. Yeah, I think what Logan said is definitely true. And we're since we're doing this together, there's a pretty high likelihood that your ads should perform pretty well and generate leads. If someone was brand new to this and they didn't know like anything about video ads or like offers, their margin for error is like so tiny. You know what I mean? Like they're not really sure.
Yeah.
We can kind of get away with a smaller budget because we know like what will convert and what won't. But that's just like something to keep in mind moving forward.
Okay. Thank you.
Sweet.
Come get my baby. What are you doing back there, Cap?
Lindsay's got a party going on at her house. She didn't invite nobody.
Awesome. So after you select the budget, and by the way, if there's anything that I'm skipping over, like dynamic creative, I didn't really talk about it. Just if I'm skipping over it, it's not important for you guys to, yeah.
Is it
All right,
easy
so-
to change the budget after like we've already ran the campaign?
Yes. Yeah.
Only up though. It's really hard to go down.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you have to mail a letter to Facebook if you wanna
Yeah.
Or go to their headquarters.
Okay, so how do you prefer to target? Radius, by zip code, counties?
Yeah, let's do zip code. So 29501 and 29505 are pretty good. Our state country club is in like the rougher side of town, so I'm kind of weird. But you know what? Okay, let's do the 29506 too, because those are people who, yeah.
Okay.
Let's just do
And
all of
what
it.
other one did I miss?
29505.
Okay. So right now, if you guys are unaware, we're just taking care of the targeting, right? So you can do it by zip codes, you can do it by a radius around a specific address. And it will tell you as you're doing this, like what your estimated audience reach size is. And unless you guys, actually, Logan, I'd be curious to know for you, the areas that you service, do you know like what your estimated audience reach is?
Yeah. When we just do females, we're about 20,000, and then when we add males in there,
Oh, wow.
we're at like 45,000. So I think a good range when I was doing the daily calls, and so I was helping gyms all across the country. I found that like 100,000 was like a nice like if they could get that high, it was a nice sweet spot. So some of the bigger markets they would like trim down, and the smaller markets like there was markets there were like 4,000 or 5,000 people that would freaking crush. So
Yeah.
20,000, 50,000 is nice. I think 100,000 is kind of like a sweet spot. And then again, I would trim down from that 100,000. But anyway, just what you got.
Very similar to my philosophy. I say somewhere between 50,000 and 100,000 is probably a good number.
Yeah.
As a bare minimum, I wouldn't do anything less than 30,000 estimated audience reach.
Unless you don't got it.
Yeah, when you live in rural areas with I don't know what you have around you in Bozeman. I was gonna say cows and farmland, but you got to work with what you got. But
one of the benefits of smaller towns though is that you're not competing against so people think they're competing against cleaning businesses or local businesses, but you're just competing against like everybody who's advertising on Facebook. And so some of the lead cost that some of these people who were in rural towns when we were doing gym launch would get was like, again, and this was 2017, 2018, so it was a little bit different, but still like it was a huge difference in what people were paying in these smaller rural towns. They would literally pay like 50 cents to $1 a lead. And then, and then like in the bigger cities where there's more competition, they were paying, $10, $15 a lead. in the
Yeah.
in the really competitive markets, and that's think of that like 3 or 4x now. So
More.
Logan brought up a great point too. Basically, the smaller your audience size is, the more likely you are for those people to see your ads repeatedly. That's just like a general rule of thumb. So just keep that in mind, you know, when it comes to switching out your ads. And if you're dealing with a relatively small population of people, they're going to see your ads more frequently, which is great for that like trust factor, but it also means that they could potentially fatigue faster, meaning you'll have to like switch out your videos more frequently or like test new angles. So yeah. But yeah, was there any other zip codes we wanted to include?
No, I was just gonna ask if this is like a good range or if you recommend a bigger one, or like what are your recommendations for like the audience here, like for this particular section?
So as of now, it's good. But the thing is, we're gonna add a couple qualifiers. So
Okay.
age
Gotcha.
range.
Yeah, I like 30 and up. That's good.
Yeah, so, some people maybe want to exclude the seniors and put it up to like 58 or something. That's your guys' call. If you know, if you don't want to include the older folks, you know, that's fine.
Okay.
Usually, at
Okay.
least to start off with, I'd rather keep it pretty broad and then maybe refine as time goes on, if you need to. But if you're wondering what's the secret targeting strategy, this is it. 30 to 65 plus, that's it. No crazy interests or anything. Especially as of recently, I think Facebook is, and Google too, these platforms are trying to move to like being as hands-off as possible for the user, and they'll take care of the work. And I've tested this really extensively, like targeting, you know, moms of children, like top from ages 0 to 5 years old who have like babysitting roles and stuff versus like broad audiences. And usually the broad audiences perform just as well, if not better, like 10 out of 10 times. So I don't know if you've had different experiences, Logan, but just keep it
and that's the
simple.
thing that Alex still talks about, even inside his book. You guys read the book. When it comes to local audience, the broader, the more general, the better. And yeah, it's what we've been doing from day one. And I think Evan, what you're saying is like spot on.
Cool. And then yeah, we're not going to touch anything else. You do see this option for advantage placements, which if you wanted to, this would just basically mean if you only wanted your ad to appear on certain placements. So what typically used to be the advice for like, you know, Facebook ad experts or gurus was like, hey, like only do the feeds, bro. Let's uncheck everything and like only have these two. And there is a benefit to doing that if you want to rack up engagement. So if people are going to see your ad on the same platform and that's the only platform people can see, you're just inevitably going to get more likes. But this platform is really smart. If you kind of let it show on all the other ones, at least what we've seen recently, is that's fine. And it's less work on your part. So you could do that. All right. And now is when we actually do the ad, which is the fun stuff. So let's upload your creative to here, your video.
Ooh, you got it all.
Yeah.
How'd you get all those? Oh, from my
Oh,
page. That
yeah. This isn't from me.
I got scared. I'm like, wait, I don't think I shared those.
Yeah. So Evan, if you want to touch on that too, so people can actually use like their existing posts as ads, right?
Yeah. So if you guys have a post on your page, and you want to use, if you want to put money behind it, that's actually a really smart choice. I'll show you guys how to do that in a second, but I'm going to upload this quick. And then just make sure that when you're looking at it, like over here, nothing's like cropped out. Sometimes the placements, like if this was selected on 16:9 and we were to play it, the text actually does still show on there, but you know, usually you want the whole video to show. You could try like selecting here. Yeah, I would probably just keep it the original and then Facebook recommends the 16:9. I think for this placement, it might work fine. But for the other ones, I would just keep it original. Standard enhancements. Since if you guys are following this strategy and you're putting your own music and like voiceovers or text, like you won't need to check this. I actually wouldn't recommend you check it because they're gonna inevitably put their own music and test like different sounds and stuff. It would just screw up the video. So I would only do that if it was like an image. All right, so we're gonna let that upload. And then now is when we're going to start putting the text. So we have the creative, which is the photo or video, but now we're going to add the text to the ad. So in this cool little Google sheet, which you guys may or may not have access to as a bonus for this training, we'll see, is this little framework that you could pretty much just plug and play. And on the left, it kind of gives different templates for like what the offer, what the hook's going to be about. So I'm just going to pick one of these. And let's paste this in here. So this is like a long variation of a copy, but this is just so you guys can read it. So this one's kind of about like the spouse angle. Like let's be honest, they don't leave the house clean. You spend hours, not only is it nasty, blah, blah, blah. And then here about company names. So this is where we would just put like home sweet home. You could add some emojis if you want. I'll do that just to make it a little bit more enticing.
What do you think about using ChatGPT? I've recently started using them to create captions for just like my feed and reels and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to get a base, I think it's definitely fine. But you'll probably have to go and refine some things because there's always like a piece or two of it that sounds a little robotic, in my opinion.
Okay.
So so this preview that we're seeing on the right, see how there's a see more button? The text that we're seeing above the see more is what's called above the fold. You may have heard that for like landing pages too. And basically you want like your main hook or offer to be above there. So in this ad example, we're going after like an interesting hook. Like, let's be honest, your spouse doesn't exactly leave the bathroom clean. So we're just trying to like get people to associate with this. Like, oh yeah, that is me. My wife or my husband doesn't leave the house clean. And then they click this read more, and that's where they could like, find out more about your company. But believe it or not, a lot of people won't even click that button. If your creative is captivating enough, they're watching this video, like they're like, okay, I think I know what this is about. This is a house cleaning company. And then they click that learn more button and then go boom, like straight to it, right? So that's kind of just like the theory behind that ad copy. If I go back to my Google Sheets, there's going to be more variations too. And I actually encourage you guys to do this, especially as you start spending more money on the advertising platform, is you can split test multiple variables at once. So let me just finish this ad and then I'll show you guys exactly what I mean. So for a headline, what I usually like to do is either just put the offer here or like a unique selling proposition. So something like request a quote in 20 seconds. And then for the description, you could just put, again, like unique selling propositions, like if you're like an eco-friendly company or where you service, right? So like, like proudly servicing, I don't know, what would it be out of he, like
Florence, South Carolina.
Should I say like Florence and surrounding areas? Would that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. And sorry, are you going to post this tonight? Because if so, like I'm like very honest, and I don't have a 5-star rating on Google, and I don't have hundreds of clients.
Oh no, good catch. That's fine. So no, this was just a framework. You guys can either like, you don't have to put these things, or you could swap it out for whatever you want. Like maybe you have English speaking staff and that's like one of your check marks, or like you know, like I said, green cleaning or something like that. These are just kind of placeholders.
Okay, gotcha. I didn't know if you were gonna like hit like publish tonight, and then I could go back and edit that later.
So
Yeah,
if
no,
you
no.
if we go into the masterclass, there's ad copies in there as well, and they're designed that they're plug and play, so that way like everybody can fit within them. And the
Oh,
one
okay.
that's working right now really
Mhm.
well. Where's this at? Marketing trainings. I can't even find it now. There's so much stuff in this masterclass. So it's if you guys are in the masterclass, there's a section for ad copy. There's a Google Doc. I'll drop it in the chat, Evan, for you to have it as well. And the one that is working right now that we've been running probably for like over a year straight, which is the only difference that we're testing is just emojis versus not emojis, is the here I just dropped in the chat. So all you guys have this as well. So if you guys were looking for the ad copy section of the marketing class, it's right there in the chat. And then if you scroll to the
Nice.
bottom, so these are all short ones. But if you go to the very bottom, this is the one that we're currently using, the one that's working. Yeah, keep going. I think it's number 9. Yeah, so again, like the back to school is something you can change, but it's
Mhm.
like all the stuff in yellow is things that you just apply to your own stuff, and
Nice.
everybody can use that.
Awesome. So we can, so this is a great point. What this ad copy that I posted in here, this isn't like an argument about like whose is better, Logan's or this one. In fact, I encourage you guys to always be testing, especially like the more ad spend you're doing. So if you guys, let's say we already have our video uploaded here, we already have our ad essentially created, right? So once you have that, if you click on these 3 little dots, hit quickly duplicate. Now we just made a copy of this. So let's just do a new leads ad. Like,
Yep.
I'll just name this B, right? Keep it simple. This one will be A. This one will be B. And we're going to keep all the variables the same, except now we're just going to switch out the ad copy. Oh, that came out.
Yeah, you gotta. I don't know why it didn't format it. Yeah, and this is actually great because I don't think most people know this if you haven't ever done any copy training, but you want spaces between everything because it's easier to read. I see a lot of people, even in
Yeah.
the Facebook group, I see this a lot when people ask questions like, "This is good for you guys to practice when you guys are like typing posts out and you guys are making responses." Like there should be a space between each sentence, right? So
Yeah.
very simple rule, basic copy skills, a space between each sentence. So if you guys make posts on Facebook, like just like personal posts or personal posts on Instagram. But specifically when you're doing paid advertising, you need spaces. Otherwise, people will not like, doesn't matter how good it is, they will not read it if it's too close together.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's an excellent point. And it's thank you for bringing that up. I did not, that didn't even register in my mind to like explain, but it's true. You want to like chunk every sentence into like these little, you know, these little spaces. It's just much more appealing to the eye when people see like word vomit, as they call it. It's just no one's going to read through it. It's not going to be appealing. And you'll see that even my variation is kind of follows that same format where, you know, there's just like these space sentences everywhere. But yeah, that is it's going to be the same video. The headline's going to be the same. The description's going to be the same. All we did was change the text. Now, you can do the same thing too, where let's say we want to keep the text the same, but now we want to use a different creative, a different image, right? So we could do that same thing. Let's say we want to use Logan's copy. We can quickly duplicate this, name this version C. And then maybe instead of doing this video, we'll try an image, right? So if we do like let's see if I can pull an image from your Facebook page. So this would be an interesting photo to test.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I wanted to share something like that.
So this is I could talk about this forever. There's so many like different things about advertising, but sometimes the most random images will actually be like your winners, right? So what a lot of people will do is they'll assume that every ad has to be an image of like a cleaner or something. But I've seen it so many times where there'll be an image of you holding a dog, for example. And actually, I say that specifically. There's Christina over in Georgia. I think she's part of this group, Christina Atkins. But she has this one photo. It's like her and one of her cleaners. They're just holding a puppy in like the client's home, and it like crushes it. And I think there's something to be said about these photos where it's like you can clearly see faces. People know that they're dealing with a real company, right? There's like some of that comfort and trust built ahead of time. Plus, if you guys have like an award or an accolade, like that's just kind of bonus points. But yeah, this goes without saying that you should stay away from stock photos as much as possible and capture your own content, both for videos and photos. The more authentic and raw, just the better. Cool. So we got this video with this copy. We got the same video with another copy, and then this one, which is Logan's copy, just with the image. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes. So we were supposed to run, like, if we were to run all three of these, since like these are each separate ads, right? And they're all running at the same time if we publish them all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And you know what I'll actually even do with this one? I'm going to change the headline to say free cleaning voucher. Do you do something similar to your headlines, Logan? Just putting your offer in there?
Yeah, that's what I would do. Again, we actually do the engagement post right now, but in the past, it's definitely the offer. Like that's the thing that I think is that's the hook. So free cleaning voucher, and it would be like free back to school cleaning voucher if you're putting a wrapper in front of it. Free Halloween, clean by Halloween, or free clean by Halloween, a cleaning voucher, right? So whatever it is, like just make it part of the season. So
Right. Yes, that's a great point. Typically, the higher your daily
clean
ad
by
spend is,
Halloween would be great, guys. By the way, it's like we see one in the gym called Lean by Halloween. If you do clean by Halloween, like I'm actually gonna do
nice.
that. That was actually I'm stealing that for myself.
Nice. Yeah, you know, the higher your ad spend is, the more variables you can test at once. Like we have a budget of $20, which isn't like, you know, a ton. So it probably wouldn't make sense to run like 10 ads at once just because there wouldn't be enough budget to really make it worthwhile, right? But certainly if you guys have a more aggressive spend and you want to test like 5 different variations at once, and you're, you know, let's say you're spending like $50 a day or more, this is certainly a great strategy. And basically how this works is, as you guys start running ads over time, you're going to see which ones are performing. And I can pull up an account right now and kind of show you guys what that looks like if you want to see that. Who wants to see that in real time? Some real life accounts that are running ads and what to kind of look for. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Thank all you guys for still being on here. I think we at the most we have a 70, and we're still at 59. I saw one person drop off. We were at 60. So thank you guys for all showing up. And again, this will be recorded, so you guys will actually have the, you can start and stop it. But thank you guys for actually being here. And again, it means a lot to Evan, it means a lot to Adi, it means a lot to me, it means a lot to everybody who's on here. Like this is only fun. This is only cool when there's people on here. So thank you guys for making this fun and cool.
Yep. Absolutely. Before I do that, Adahi, do you want me to publish these or just leave them as like drafts?
Just drafts, because I definitely want to go back and edit some of the wording to more truthfully tell my story.
Cool. That works. So
Evan, before we move on, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure, does anyone have any questions? So as far as like the campaign ad set level, so maybe just doing a quick overview now of like why there's 3 different levels. We have a campaign level and asset level, and then we have the ads level. Just maybe like a brief overview now that we kind of did it, like the tactics and like kind of the overall, like why is there 3 different levels to this and why are they each important?
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. So the three different levels, we have the campaign, the ad set, and then the ad, which is the three ads we created. So the campaign is just basically what's your objective with spending money? Are you looking just to get visitors? Are you looking to generate leads, which is, probably most of you? Are you looking just to drive, engagement, like likes or comments on a post? So this is what we're telling what we want Facebook to optimize for. The ad set, which is the next level down, this is really where we did do some of the conversion events. So there is a little bit of that, as well as the targeting, right? So that's down here, like who we want our ad to show in front of, basically. And then the ad level is, well, that's what it is. It's the ad. It's what people are actually going to see on their feed. So this is where we create the image and the text and all that good stuff. Does that make sense?
Cool.
Yes. Thanks for
Sweet.
asking that, Logan.
Yeah. So,
Before we move on, does anyone have any specific question before we leave the actual like building of the fund, before we start looking at metrics and looking at how Facebook ads, like when to turn them on, when to boost them, when to trim, all that stuff? Does anyone have any specific questions before we move on? Who's still engaged, who's still here?
I saw a good question by Trey in the chat. He says, do you use third-party tracking software or trust Facebook to give accurate data? Excellent question. No, I don't trust Facebook to give accurate data. I think Logan, you're the same way, right?
Yeah. No.
Same thing with Google ads. Sometimes they'll report like conversions wrong. So what I'm going to show you guys next is when you guys set up your ads, I recommend that you have some type of back-end system that you're using to track the leads, whether that's like your own CRM or a Google Sheets, right? I usually recommend actually a combination of the two, to be honest. But yeah, that's always going to give you like your most accurate readings. Pat says, how often are you monitoring and turning off ads that aren't performing? Yeah, so there's kind of like two stages of the sales, the process. One is like the front end metrics, what I call them, which is like your cost per click, cost per lead. And then the second half is your acquisition cost. So meaning like after you spend $200 on this platform, let's say, how many jobs are you getting from it? And really the acquisition cost is like your North Star. That's what you always want to be looking at. Because if I, Logan, if I said, hey, this platform is going to generate $60 leads for you, and I said, is that too expensive? That would kind of be an arbitrary question, because if you're converting 100% of those $60 leads, then no, technically it's not too expensive. But if you're just looking at it purely based on like cost per lead because you heard that somebody else was getting $15 leads, then yeah, it's going to seem super expensive. So you gotta look at both simultaneously and just know your KPIs.
I think one of the most important numbers to know, and it's on the intelligence sheet. So if you're not using the intelligence sheet, there's a whole training on how to use the data intelligence sheet. One of the most important things. But when you know like how much it costs for you to acquire a customer, it means like marketing spend. If you have a salesperson, it includes commissions in there as well. So when you can say, hey, it costs me $100 to acquire a customer. Well, then you can look at that customer and say, okay, so that means that if it costs me $100 to acquire a customer, then how much money do I make on this customer? Like what's the lifetime value of the customer? Is it over $100, right? Or is it $200, $300, $400, or is it $50, right? And then that's going to dictate how much you actually can spend, whether that be on marketing itself or sales or a combination of both. That's actually what a true cost to acquire a customer. That's how you track what the cost to acquire a customer.
Absolutely.
And Trey, this is for Trey. This is a good one. Do you do any retargeting, Evan, for local Facebook ads or for local business?
Yeah, you said retargeting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So That is definitely something you can play around with. It kind of depends. It depends on the size of the market that you're going after. So
Yeah.
to go back what Logan was saying, like if you're in a very rural area, you're dealing with a relatively small population, that same audience is probably going to see your ads multiple times throughout like a month anyway. So it's probably, not necessary. On the other hand, if you're in a very populated city and there's a lot of competition, you might want that same ad to show in front of those people multiple times. So at the very least, yes, I would test it, especially if your site is already getting like a lot of traffic every day, and you have a seasoned pixel, what they call it. Then you can definitely run a retargeting campaign for like a couple bucks a day. It really doesn't have to be more than like $5 a day tops. And you know for a fact that you're pretty much going to get in front of everybody like at least a couple times per week. And yeah, you'll just test through those campaigns to see if like the acquisition cost is actually cheaper on them. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the retargeting campaigns are a waste of time, to be honest. And it's actually more profitable just to focus on those interest-based campaigns.
And just for some context for you, Evan, Trey has a national like he runs national ads, so he's got a business where he sells online bats, trading bats. So he actually doesn't own a cleaning business. He's tried to start a cleaning business. I told him not to because he has a really awesome business, and he spends $100,000+ a month on just on Facebook marketing. So that was just so you have some context from like what his specific question. He's not a cleaning business owner.
So this is for an e-commerce store, it sounds like, right?
He sells like a training bat. So
Okay.
yeah. So
yeah,
anyway, go for it.
Yeah, no, I'll just real quick for online stores for like e-commerce, like if you're selling something at the national level, yes, retargeting is very important because those are like the coldest people you can get. Their transaction is purely through the internet, so you'll definitely want that trust, and that's where like retargeting, like people that add to cart and all that stuff, becomes important. But for local businesses like a cleaning business, it's not as detrimental. Cool. Well, yeah, I said I was going to go over like analyzing some of these campaigns, so how about we do that?
Let's do it.
And I'm gonna use Lucas and Jessica's account. I'm gonna single them out right now.
They're the best ones.
Partially because I'm jealous of the Canadian markets compared to like some of these US ones. But all right, so first of all, let's do this. Oops. Okay. So by default, Facebook's going to give you like one of their columns yeah, let me do this. So when you're in the back end of the ads manager, you'll see like this where it says like ad set name, attribution setting. And to be honest, like all of their most of these columns are kind of trash. Like let's simplify this and just show you what you really need. It's actually pretty simple. So what you're going to want to track is the amount spent, how many clicks you got. So link clicks. Let me actually build this from scratch, so it's just very clear.
Cool.
All right. So the first thing, amount spent, right? So we want to see how much money we spent from the previous day. Of course, we're gonna want to look at how many clicks we got. Now, when you type in clicks, there's a lot of these link clicks, unique link clicks, outbound clicks, all this stuff. The ones that I've seen to be most accurate for this case is link clicks, right? So we'll check that. Another thing we'll want to look at is our cost per click or cost per link click, right? So this one, CPC, cost per link click. Another metric that's helpful to know is how many people visited our landing page. So if you type in landing page, it will actually pop up automatically. You could just hit total. Leads, we'll want to know how many leads we got so we can hit total. And now this difference, website leads versus meta leads. So website, this will apply if you guys set up your pixel and the conversion event that we went over before. Facebook's probably like 75% accurate for what what their reportings for a lead is. I still like to leave it checked though. Because when you're kind of looking at this at like a bird's eye view, you'll at least know if it's directionally correct or not. Meaning if we launch this campaign and let's say this week we got 10 leads and then the next week we only got 4, even though those numbers really might be closer to 8 and 3, it's still directionally correct where we could see like if it's, if things are getting better or not. Hopefully that makes sense, but you could leave both of these checked. And then, the other 2 metrics to keep in mind are just frequency, which basically means how often is a visitor seeing our ad, right? So in a 7-day window, is our typical visitor seeing it 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, right? And then the one last thing I'll put in here is CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. That's basically how much is Facebook charging you to show your ad on their space. Right? And then you guys can name this whatever. So let's look at one of their more recent campaigns. This one actually, let me go one that has multiple creatives. Okay, here we go. So when we're looking at this, one of the first things you'd want to look at is how much actually was spent, right? So you always want to compare ads that have a similar amount spent. If I compared this $30 one to this $657 one, it wouldn't be fair because, maybe this one probably didn't get enough attention as it deserved. But assuming that costs are, fairly equal, the next thing that I'm typically looking at is cost per click. So if we go to, let's go back here again. So if we're comparing, this bathroom cleaning one to this sink scrub one, for example, it's getting about like double the amount of clicks, like our cost per click is in half. So what that should tell you is, okay, most likely something about the creative is good. Like we have that box checked, right? Or maybe it's the ad copy, maybe it's the offer, but something about this ad is more appealing, most likely, than this one up here, right? So if we click on this one, this is actually a really good ad that has performed very well. Let me, I'll play it for you guys just so you have an idea. Yeah. So when I see that, I'm like, okay, something about the video is working well. For like a period of time we were just running this and running a bunch of leads, getting a bunch of leads coming through. So I can kind of use that data and just know like, okay, in the future, if I'm going to test another video, I might keep this ad copy the same and then just test like another video that's similar. Or I could test the same video and then just switch out the ad copy and see like, okay, what's really the variable that's racking in the leads? Is it the video that it's so engaging, or is it maybe like something in the ad copy, right? So that's kind of my train of thought for that. But pretty much how I report on these ads is, and how I advise you guys to do the same thing too, is you always want to report on the day before. So when you come in here every morning, you could see, okay, how much did I spend? How many clicks did I got? What was our cost per click? Facebook will give you an estimated reading for leads, but I actually don't recommend that you guys focus on this number. Instead, when you guys are generating these leads through your own funnels and click funnels or high level, you should have those leads tracked within your own CRM, right? And then what you'll want to do is when you set up these numbers, so you'll have ideally a separate Google Sheet that you're reporting all this in. You can go from the day before, okay, September 9th, we spent $25. So we're going to put that in for the Facebook reading, right? How many clicks did we get? We got 16. So we're going to copy that, put that in for clicks. That's our cost per click. How many conversions came in? Now, see, Facebook reported 2, but we actually got 3. And the way that we know that is because we have all leads coming in here.
Yeah.
So we could see, okay, on the 19th, how many leads came from our social media advertising. Does that make sense to you guys? So the great thing about tracking everything on a Google Sheet, especially if you're getting the averages, so like for these guys, we're doing both Google ads and Facebook ads, and we can see like, okay, for this month so far, average cost per lead for Google ads is $18, right? This is the percentage that our landing page is converting at. For Facebook ads, it's about $13 right now, right? Now tracking everything kind of in tabs like months like this is super helpful, because I think like May, for example, I mean, these are dirt cheap leads, $6 per lead average on Facebook. Our page was converting at 20%, right? But now, just candidly, if we're reporting the data, the metrics are not as good. Now our landing page is only converting at 11% and our cost per lead has gone up. But we can, because we have this tracked, we can come back to the previous months and say like, okay, what was different? What were we doing then that we're not doing now? Did we switch the design of our funnel? Did we swap out new ads? Like maybe the previous ads were better and now they're not. Did something in, the ad copy change? So and Logan, I think you're a proponent of that for your students too, having a Google Sheet to track everything.
Yeah,
But when you could do
100%.
everything, when you can do everything like per platform and get as granular to see like your cost per click, your average conversion percentage on your landing pages, it's just really helpful data to have everything. Let's see here. I'm just looking at questions.
Yeah, I think Bobby actually had a good question, and he said like, is the data in the sheets automated in the way of the funnel? So I think that's a great place to touch on, because we actually didn't show what I consider the first half of this, which is like how does the lead go from Facebook into the Google Sheet, and what of that process is automated versus what of it, like which of it is like what you're showing has to be manually entered.
Yeah, so there are ways to automate it. For example, I know with Go High Level, they kind of have their own native tracking built in once you integrate like your Facebook page and everything. And there's third-party tools too, like Hyros, what Alex Becker created, like, it tracks this pretty extensively. However, I actually, even if you guys can find an automated solution, I actually think there's a real art in doing this manually. And you can hire a VA to do this. Like, I have a virtual
When you say
assistant.
manually, Evan, are you talking about like moving the Facebook data over to the Google Sheet? Is that what you're talking about specifically?
Yes, there's
Yeah.
something to be said about every morning actually going into Facebook and copy and pasting those numbers. Because here's the thing, if it's fully automated, you're not going to have as much if something goes wrong for a week and you're not even looking at your numbers, your landing page could be down, right? Maybe there's a hosting error, and if you're not checking these things, if you're not seeing like, oh shit, for the past 3 days I've gotten 0 leads, if you're kind of just assuming that it's taken care of, you could be burning through your money.
Yeah.
So I think that whether it's you doing this or a virtual assistant, you're going to be much more mindful and just like more mindful and more what's the word I'm looking for? Respectful, I guess you could say, about your budget.
Yeah. I think, and then the part that's automated though is when the lead goes into ClickFunnels or goes into High Level or basically goes from Facebook into your landing page. Like that process is automated. And then again, Go Level has its own little thing. We use Zapier as a way to basically zap it from ClickFunnels into Google Sheet. But outside of that, we do the same thing, as that we have our virtual assistant take the data and then input it onto our data sheet.
Absolutely.
Very important for sure. And we actually don't track as much stuff as you show. So like these are some things I'm going to have my virtual assistant track, because it's awesome. So thank you for going into detail on exactly what you guys take from Facebook and put it onto your marketing data sheet. So it's great.
Yeah, my pleasure. And this is kind of, this can be like it's not actually even that time consuming. Like if you guys are running this for your own businesses, it shouldn't take more than like, 2 minutes every morning, but it's tedious. You can hire a virtual assistant to do this for you too. It's
Yeah.
it's no biggie. Just someone has to get it done.
It's awesome. Cool, guys. Evan, is there anything else specifically before we wrap up? We've been on here for, man, 2.5 hours. You guys been on for 2 hours. Like, first off, can you give Evan some love? Give him some love, and Ade as well, for actually like being willing to share this with her. Obviously, you could tell, like, she was this was the first time going through it, and so she allowed us to open up her business and spend all of her money. So give both Ade and Evan some love. And before we close out here, and there's the chat's been blowing up, and people are like, there's like, what do you call it? Uninformed optimism, right? And so it looks easy, and then all of a sudden you start to see what it takes in order to build something like this. It's like, holy crap! Like there's a lot. There's a lot to it. And so my goal is to be able to give a resource that if you guys want to build this yourself, here's the trainings, here's how to do it, go through the struggle, learn the skill. However, not everybody is in that place in their business right now, or do they want to deal with it ever, right? And that's cool, right? I just want to give you the opportunity. So if you actually want someone to do it for you, I will not do it for you. Again, I don't do this, right? I'm a cleaning business owner who wants to help other cleaning businesses, but I do not do this. But the guy who's been teaching for the last 2 hours came to this community to serve you guys. This is what he does for a living. So I've been seeing the chat, like people talking about going to Fiverr, going other places. Like, you can do the cheap way, or you can actually do it with who's the expert, somebody who's actually served other people in the community already, and you actually can go with Evan. And you guys can see the chat. Like, if you guys just work with Evan, you guys want to give him just like, honest feedback, honest review, I guess. And so if you guys do want to have a done for you solution, like, this is one of the reasons I brought Evan in, is to give you guys that opportunity. I trust Evan. I've been using Evan for consulting. He's been teaching me amazing things, good human, character, top notch. And that's the thing I like most at. And the fact that he has the skill to go with it, again, is amazing. So if you guys are looking for a done for you solution, Evan is the person who I recommend. And you'll see the group. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people who are on here right now, 8 maybe, who are actually on here. There's other people who are not on here who use Evan. So there's your opportunity. Or again, you can learn it as well. Again, either way, I'm cool with, but it's got to get done. So either you learn it or you pay to have somebody do it for you. But Evan, is there an easy way? Not an easy way, but is there a way that you like to have people reach out for to see if they're a good fit to work with you?
Yeah, no, thanks for the the kind words. Appreciate that. And yeah, you guys are all in the Facebook group. The same post that Logan tagged me in for this call. If you guys want to just shoot me a DM, for whatever, it doesn't even have to be to work together. If you just want to say what's up.
What about the people who are not on this call? Because this call's going to be watched. It's going to be heavily like watched on the recording. So like, do you have like a website that we can...
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, if you guys visit celebritymaid.net, you guys can, book a call through there. It will just ask you to fill out a quick survey, get some info on your business, schedule a call. We'll chat, talk shop, and take it from there.
And is the first call, is it a paid or is it free? Just so everyone has an expectation of...
Nope, it's free. So
it's free. Okay, cool.
Yep.
So yeah, so if you guys are interested, again, there's a free call. You can talk with him. Evan's like, you saw what he did. If you guys want more information, that's how you do it. Celebritymaid.net is in the chat. And if you're watching this as a replay, there'll be a little link down below as well. And just as a side note, like, I don't get paid for this at all. Evan, are you gonna pay me for this?
No, Logan's
Okay.
It sounds like Logan's my affiliate right now. And
yeah, exactly. But again, like, I don't get anything from this outside of just serving you guys and putting you guys with the person who can help you grow your business. And that's how this actually serves me, is that you grow your business, and we have multiple $1 million businesses in this group, and we actually change the cleaning industry. And it's going to be done with all of us all working together and putting the best people in the right places. So anyway, Evan, thank you so much for having on here. It's 10 o'clock your time. And so I think we've done enough. But is there any last words that you want to say? A piece of advice? If you guys have more questions, let's be respectful of everyone's time right now, and we can drop them in the Facebook group. And that's another great point too. Is like if you guys, who's on here right now? We have 52 people still on here. Will you guys do one favor for me and for Evan as well, and Audie? Will you guys actually post in the Facebook group and do it tonight before you go to bed? Just that you got value from this, or what you got from it, and tell people in the Facebook group about this so they know what's in here. Because now we have 1,800 people in the group. It'll be 2,000 by Friday, and there's so many people in here, not even the masterclass, let alone knew about this training. And it's going to take an army of people in the Facebook group to tell the army about what's going on inside here. Like half the people in here don't even know that all this shit is in here. And so that is our job, is to be able to tell everybody that they have access to this thing, and it doesn't cost them anything. Okay. So if you guys will drop in the Facebook group tonight what value you got from this call, give Evan some love, give Audie some love. And if you guys are interested in getting the done for you service, celebritymaid.net's right there. And if you're looking to do it yourself, this will be uploaded into the masterclass as well. And if you guys have questions about how to implement it, like, use the Facebook group for resources. And Evan's in there too as well. So like I know like Evan's one of the people who's a giver, and he serves, and he was in there answering questions. So like I'm sure he'll be in there answering some questions as well. So don't abuse him. But Evan, anything you want to close the night out on?
Yeah, so two things. One of them is really just, I guess more so about the content creation process itself. First of all, Adahi was nice enough to show us her videos that like she took the time to record herself. We're in the age of the digital world, meaning there's more businesses every day that are opening up, meaning it's getting harder to stand out. And like I said, the more authentic that you can make your content, just actually take the time to do it. Record those videos, take those photos. It's really going to make your advertising process just that much more successful. So if that means like planning out one day a week to get with your team, we have some clients where they hated getting on camera when we first started working together. And now on Sunday, on the damn weekend, they're meeting up, going to like different homes, different places to record cleaning videos, value-based videos where they're like in a store buying products, right? Recording kind of like just talking head type of thing. And it's just really cool to see that transformation and see it successful for them. So that's one thing. Second thing I'll say is always be innovative. This isn't like a one and done type of thing. You might post a campaign that crushes it, and then like a couple months later, it's just crickets, and that's normal. Whether that's ad fatigue, or maybe one of your competitors came in and starts, stealing your stuff, which is very possible, and it's just normal. That's why you always got to be one step ahead. And I strongly advise you guys to just, always stay on the balls of your feet, and, keep testing new angles, keep making sure that you got to do what you got to do to get those leads coming in. And then last but not least, one line that I kind of like to go by is there's no loss with advertising. You either win or you learn, right? So it's an investment to invest in your business to generate leads. But if you're following these practices, you're probably going to win more times than you learn. But even those situations where you only learn and you don't win necessarily, find out why that was. Maybe, it was this type of angle that you used, or this type of offer. But at least you'll know moving forward, okay, this didn't work for me. What can I do next to get results?
Awesome. Evan, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your wisdom. And yeah, this will be uploaded in the masterclass, and the sheet that Evan showed earlier, we'll put that in the masterclass as well. And there'll be a little link up there for the Celebrity Maid for anybody who's watching this on the recording.